evening, causing them to get very little sleep before the scene.
Trying to see if there's any fancy footwork that Bannerface can do here, but I don't really see it. I don't think there's a way to clear both, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. So I might just take the hero card here.
Yeah, I don't think hero power threads clears everything, so yeah, I agree. I think it's just horseman. I thought that was 3 to face, and I was like, "You're really not gonna kill the 1/1?" Like, oh, okay. Yeah, then the animation kicked in. I was like, "Okay, fair enough."
There's the Incendius.
Yeah. Now things get a little bit tricky.
Wow, I can't believe this next man.
Necessary clears for combo.
Alright, chat, hello. Chill stream.
It's gonna hold the pick swing, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's nice once you have the eruptions shuffled.
Exactly, yeah, just go. I mean, I guess there's also only 2 cards left in the deck, but this can speed it up, right? So,
yeah,
not too bad.
I think it was just sort of using the remaining mana and making hand space. I think Banter's hope is basically to get out both Frosty Decors, try and survive that way.
Yeah, it's gonna be tricky though, right? Because
You kill around with that baguette. It's not unlike you.
At this point into, they're basically drawing a deck, right? So they have the clear-cut options of what to do. Obviously minus the cards they've already played. But yeah, it's definitely tricky because Banterface isn't exactly on 1,000,000 health. And yeah, there's the armor, but it's not that much when you get in sort of a complete freebie Incendious sort of options that we can see that looks like that's what Proyan's going for right now. Is this going to be cover artists here?
Always fighting up higher.
To get, one cost Incendious in play or played, right? And then to pull the 0 cost.
Just do some AFK stuff in RuneScape as well.
Breakdance, minions. And,
yeah, it's definitely about
it's looking quite good.
Hearthstone. Yeah. It's just, I thought,
double upgrades on
click on that rock every 20 minutes.
I mean, that already just feels like
no XP waste.
I don't really know what Banterface can realistically do.
I think the only option is like Decor plus threads. You've got to do the threads so that when your minions die,
don't be scared, shot.
I think the question is whether you actually like Maladar first. Oh no, Maladar isn't.
Yeah,
it's too much
I think.
So honestly, this seems to be about
like anything plus the
easy place I can do. Bring the same decks.
Honestly, so it's a little bit scary there.
Everywhere else, like bring a rogue and make it 8/8 or something.
2-1 now. Got the rogue out of the way, and honestly, that was just.
Never liked Raphael Rogue sheets on tempo to win. I don't care they don't have any control options.
It felt like Proyan had all the time in the world, right? Because there wasn't actually, that face opportunity that the Shaman had in the previous game.
Yeah, and I think this is a demonstration of like, well, Banter's lineup is probably looking to target Swarm Shaman a bit. And
right.
That's just not something that Proyan has in his lineup. So it's going to come down to this hunter and to what extent it is able to.
It's just day one.
With what Banter has going on.
She looks
it's a
really
more valuable
interesting.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up the list now because, as you mentioned, one of the slight
Music
difficulties
glasses are
of this
like
tournament is remembering whose list is whose.
Secretary from the
because there's
70s.
so many, like for example, hunters with just slightly different builds. But yeah, this is the full sort of late game value. It's got, of course, the ETC with the fizzle in there as well. It's got some pretty.
That is my call now.
So this could be a little bit tricky again because if there's, for example, not enough pressure from the Death Knight, the Hunter could just almost go endless, right? Is how it feels. Whilst still putting a good amount of pressure on because they're sort of duplicating normally a lot of the cards. I do think that the Rangari Scout is just. It looks pretty meek, and then it hits the board, and you realize the sheer power level because everything's duplicating, and it just gives the Hunter all the options in the world. So one of the rare times in Hearthstone history where Hunter often has like a full hand with this type of build, which is pretty sick. Yeah, exactly. You just have cards, which is a miracle if you used to play Hunter back in the day. So yeah, I think Proyun is in a very good spot, not only for being 2-1 up, obviously, technically winning the match so far, but also it's Dex deck on this.
Dex.
Well, so this Hunter, without things like Observer of Myths, it will take a while to get running, and it is important to have.
Bro's played 3 tempo decks.
So it's just a 1 of 30.
It's
really
pretty. It happens.
So,
yeah, I don't think Worlds that doesn't it.
Banter can draw through his deck, pressure enough in early game and such, and be able to get his combos going before Proyun is able to set up this kind of infinite value engine.
For sure. Yeah, when I saw the Exarch announced initially, I was like, oh, I really wish it was like a start of game effect, and now I realize that would have been incredibly OP. Yeah, fair enough. Just because I want it to be super strong doesn't mean it should be, but yeah, I do think a lot of the strength of this deck hinges on getting hold of Exarch early. However, there are these other cards, like Tracking, for example, that can help you get there, right? So it's not like you are completely at the will of how your deck's been shuffled, right? With the Exarch, you can hunt for it actively.
Yeah, and the glue that really is holding all of these decks together for the Discover Hunter is Alien Encounters, which starts at 5, gets discounted once every time you play Discover. In the case of this forged, traps card, you get 2 instances because you discover twice, and you're looking to get that oftentimes in your Tidepool Pupil, or sometimes the traps themselves, like secrets, can be quite powerful in terms of messing with what people have going on. So even though it's not a secret deck, you can still really mess with opponents by getting multiple instances of those rolling.
Yeah, 100%. And because you are taking the game slowly a lot of the time, you often have the time to play secrets. It's not like you're playing Face Hunter and you need to play 8 different secrets in the game, right? And that's 2 mana each, generally, obviously. So like, you do actually have that time pretty often. And we do see Birdwatch in hand. There is the Alien Encounters you were talking about to try and block some of this damage. But yeah, I think Alien Encounters, like, if that just wasn't a card, the Hunter would be significantly worse.
Yo, it's like 1-2 days to the Gauntlet as well. Get on my level. Melee.
And
Major.
here, I think Proyun is going to
But
play Alien
my
Encounters
sleep
for 2
schedule.
mana, potentially, just to get it in the Tidepool Pupil.
Ah, sure, yeah. Wait,
What will it be
it's
for the
Forge
finals?
and then Titan Forge Traps, not just a little bit better this turn?
So if you forge and play the traps, you can play the Alien Encounters for 0, but then you've already filled up
Won't
the
go in
pupil.
Tidepool, yeah.
Yep. And Encounters is generally the thing that you want to be pulling out of the pupil.
I'm streaming to 3 places.
Well, there's the scout.
Yep.
The game has begun.
It all blends.
Well,
so
I think you
well,
missed
right?
this
You get a
world
scout
too,
down,
because it was very
people
poorly
more
broadcast and poorly advertised.
Alien encounters. The taunts defend
That's the
your
only reason I
Rangari
didn't watch
scout,
it.
so you can just continue maximizing value. And even if it dies, there's
No
aspect
world's finals today on the Blizzard.
It just gets ridiculous.
Battle
And I mean
Nerd
ridiculous in the
game,
best of ways.
front
right? Like, it
page.
just gets. It feels silly sometimes to just play. You drop the one-drop Rangari Scout, and then you just go, I have infinite cards. Let's go. And like you said, the ways to defend it are very, very good. But just the fact it's a one-drop makes it just so playable, right? Because if this cost 2 or 3, or, you know, and had better stats or whatever, sure. But it would just feel like infinitely worse, right? Just being able to whip it into turns is huge. But Banterface, though, does have options to try and fight back, but probably just a little bit scared of this secret.
Yeah, I think was testing with the coin for Ice Trap, but now sort of deciding if he wants to play Sankazel. Seems like he does, or otherwise potentially when you've got Gorgon's Armu, you tend to want to get a roll in.
Ouch!
That might have been a bit of a miss sequence of attacks. You're expecting. Oh, I guess this was the only way to make the math work.
Oh, make everything clean
Yeah,
play. Yeah.
Is that a game-winning bait and switch?
Even
Oh,
if
look.
you lose
Oh.
the Sandcastle.
Yeah, it's brutal. Getting, I mean, don't get me wrong, cleared the board, got rid of the secret, right? Well, not cleared the board, but you know what I mean, cleared the threats on the board, let's say, and got rid of the secret, that's fine. But yeah, it is quite, committing, like the whole turn was just to do that, right? Which is very, very scary.
And there's just gonna be more of them.
Yep, there's more where that came from. More cute little creatures to defend you with. Brilliant there. Takes a long time to think about this turn. It does get tricky though, because you have to work out, and I think a lot of it might have been, how much do you want to Rangari Scout? Because sometimes you can do a little bit too much, and then you've got hand space.
Mario Barbarian is so bored. He has the lowest of winning the
Play the cards, you
tournament
generate
now.
copies off.
Ran out of time there. I think we wanted either to, by minimum, make the attack into the Sandcastle.
Yeah, but
But-
that alien encounters should be on board, right? 100%. There's no way that was supposed to be held.
Yeah, absolutely.
But these are the games you play a little bit if you're not even going to start your turn till the rope starts burning, right? We've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it in the past, and it's not like a huge dig at any of the players. But if you are going to sit and think about the turn for X amount of time, guess what? You've got less time to execute, right? Like it is what it is. That's the way the game works.
Constantly my problem on ladder.
Yeah. See, you need to take my approach, which is think way less and just press things. Oh, this card's green, this looks good, go. And then regret your decisions after the fact. That's my approach a lot of the time.
Let's hit with
That's the
the
Sandcastle
bounce.
back. Yeah, can get rid of this.
Yeah, Banterface wants to fully capitalize on his opponent missing.
Guys
two
making some
players.
good plays.
Maybe that's some level of relief for Pro-Yun that the
Leif,
encounters
Leif,
wouldn't have actually defended,
Leif,
right?
Leif.
Because there was
Relief.
removal available. So that's something. We're going to look for a slither of redemption here. Oh look,
Yeah.
another one's fine.
I mean, it's alien encounters all the way down.
Yeah. No, it's so good.
There's actually not even board space entirely because
Yeah.
if you trade off this 2/2, it'll.
If the face
Great.
plane
Okay,
starts,
I'll
you
take
still go face. Good trade, face. Good
This
trade.
is just such a weird Hunter deck, right? We're playing.
Hunter's finally evolved.
It's playing these secrets like, you know, freezing trap, not to mess up your opponent so that you can go face, but to just buy time until infinite ceaseless expands.
Ah! My leg.
We're getting a long, hard look at alien encounters right now,
Yep.
which is nice and fun. Hopefully we'll get that sorted, or someone will move a mouse somewhere. I'm not sure whose mouse it is that's causing this. There we go. Saved.
At least it wasn't like a 4 or 5
Is it like they're gonna be able to,
alien.
was that dropping the Incendius, I think, with the coin?
Yep.
Just gonna get it down, but still doesn't feel like there's tons of progress being made. Still facing what, 7 damage on the backswing, just left on board. And of course, like this deck doesn't exactly, you know, burst for 1,000,000 damage or anything, but just having it sit there is pretty good. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean, these are beasts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's pretty good. Let's
Oh,
see
should
what
be
we got.
healthy. Lentil
It's like
bombs.
the
Oh,
Discover that pulls from outside your deck is the Scarab,
Nice.
so you can
Yeah,
create some
oh.
pretty wicked
And the
plays.
one that could attack got the poison,
The
as
poison.
well. Oof.
Brutal.
Bait and switch available too. Both players on the, you know, the high teens of health. Looking a little bit spicy here for McBanterface. Snake are going to be shuffled into the deck to swap, and I mean, there needs to be some level of clear going on here, because like I said, that's also, it's like a side problem.
Arcane hamster magic.
Where all these alien encounters, they're not that threatening, but if they're there turn after turn and there's more and more, they are going to, the damage will stack up, right? It's
Yep.
not like they do zero
Oh, she's
damage,
25
so
degrees outside.
they are going to be very, very annoying, and this board is really, really starting to stack against McBanterface right now.
Yeah, and I think he's just trying to figure out what are the good draws here.
Oh, okay.
You know, this is kind of why Insidious is there. He was hoping to hit a second one, though.
Not meant to be. So how much is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 damage just straight off. Obviously the 1/1 can pop the shield, so let's call it 8. It's a little bit scary.
Could Divine Shield the Oracle as well, just to sort of force some extra stuff into that?
Bro, it's not gonna win with Paladin now.
Assumes Proyon doesn't have lethal.
I hope we start getting rid of this.
You know,
Manager!
point out Ziliax next turn.
Right, yeah, that's true. Yep, very true. I wasn't even looking at Ziliax, to be honest. Good catch. Now, this is the point of what we were talking about a little bit earlier, where Exarch needing to actually be played is a little bit unfortunate when you don't get to it by, like, you know, let's say turn 8.
Yeah, all the Redgari scouts in the world don't help you if you don't
Correct.
have any more ways to discover.
Alien encounters go. Just gonna come down as well.
Alright.
Shard,
As a genie, I'm gonna give you 3 wishes. I wish that everybody's fart and burps had a reverb.
You know, your opponent's on 13. Just chuck it down and go, sort of scenario.
Let me think.
There is it's still a bait and switch, isn't it? That's
Which is-
in the secret, I think.
Not positive, but that sounds potentially correct. Which is fine with the Ziliax, as long as you run it into a 2/2.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so very important to have played the
That's a very strong card.
Full Manager last turn.
Yep.
And yeah, ProU's gonna have to kind of start over. Now again, this is not like an all-out aggro deck, so starting
Brock
over
gave him
isn't
17
the
HP.
end of the world for him. But if he doesn't pick up a way of, you know, refilling here soon.
Yeah, and looking at the options, well, the good draws, let's say. There's bird watching, mixologist can get stuff done, Agromath a card draw, of course, Grifter to an extent, ETC, Exarch, of course, and the tracking. So there's a lot of stuff in the deck, like basically a lot of very good draws, but they need to come soon because this is starting to slip away, and it was looking so good for ProYun earlier on.
So, double of this replicating robot. That's fun.
Oh, bit of lag on my end. I don't know if that's me or us.
Us. Yeah.
T1T4N hand complete.
Well, Ceaseless is online.
It
We
might
used to
have
get
to
Death
be,
Wing.
right? I'm not
Yeah.
really sure what if Scarab's gonna save the day. I have a lot of faith in that card, but not that much faith.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it to like try and discount it more. I think you just Ceaseless, Hero Power, go, and then next turn intends to do a little bit more with Rengari Scout.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But while scary, I think Banter's,
Wait, what?
you know, okay with having that out of the way. You can
Yeah,
afford to take
it'd
one
be
hit.
different if this was like a lethal threat, right? But it's
Right.
there's time. It's not the end of the world at all.
Oh my god, that's so annoying.
I forget, there is a freeze.
Stop,
out of Mixologist
please.
If he wants to go for that.
It wouldn't be a bad way to start, would it?
I think he's gonna Divine Shield Villanessa and just figure ProYun doesn't have too many cards left. How does he deal with the Divine Shield Villanessa?
Is that the way that you want to start though? Like, what's the rest of the turn? Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. I was just thinking, like, are you not going to play Mixologist? Are you not going to, you know, surely you want to do these things first before slamming Linessa? Or am I being silly? Oh, okay, going to Divine Shield himself. Oh, okay, sure.
Oh, this isn't just enough, is it?
Wait, is it? Oh, I feel like I should have counted. It's not right.
You wouldn't have traded if it was.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh.
One off? Doesn't that mean that he had it with without the trade?
Oh, wait, yeah, what did he put in?
I said there's no way Banter face
Traded
wins this.
the Snake Oil, right?
What? Oh, and the snake oil drew the mixologist, right? The second mixologist? Is that what the snake oil got?
I believe so, yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, I think it would have been, right?
You just win with Hunter this fucking game.
And then when that
It was
started
never
getting
meant
locked in,
to
normally
be.
when stuff like that gets locked in, I just shout lethal. But yeah, I would have been right.
No taunts
Demon
for
has
ProYun
taunts.
anymore, though.
No.
He's used all of the alien counters.
And the problem is, you know the drinks are in hand, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Bannerface evens it up with a pretty weird end game state, honestly. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I'll be completely honest. That just confused me. That previous turn, I got razzle dazzled there. But still making it up 2-2. Very good to get claw this one back. That looked a little bit scary, but that's, I think, one of the few times that we see Hunter actually running out of juice, right? Things got a little bit dicey. There was all the alien encounters in the world, but not enough
Shut the
actual
fuck up,
generation of
as we say
more
in
cards.
Swedish.
We saw the one bird watching hand their hair a little bit earlier in the game, but there wasn't really. Getting the cheese nice and early. Can't argue with that. Oh, was he worried about Exarch? Is that what he was praying for? No Exarch on
Probably.
curve?
Oh, there it is.
Oh, it's gonna... Reaction? Reaction? Watch. Here we go.
Yep.
Yay! There we go.
Yep, there it is.
Oh, so good. They look good value as well from this location, right? Getting a lot of work done, and now it is really game on. Both players have a solid opening, right? As we saw, the coin into the Lechies, there's Hellier available. So all those things going pretty well for McBanterface, but this time Proyun does have that hero power active basically on curve, which is going to change a lot of things because the Rangari Scout
Maybe getting some
sat waiting,
parrots.
ready to go, and there's also just options of just Grifter next turn if he really wants it, right?
Yeah, good Grifta. I would expect Grifta to be saved for a scout turn in sort of the late game. I feel like you can just start hero powering to look for kind of even more discoverers, or you know, the forge for secrets. We just want ways of discounting alien encounters and then finding the tide pool pupils for even more alien encounters, because that's your board in the box.
Yeah, I guess Scout and Grifter this turn would be probably a waste of having the hero power, right? You probably want more out of that Scout.
Yeah, like it does get the most stats in play, but yeah, I mean, look, alien encounters already cost 2. I would expect, you know, encounters plus canvas.
Yeah, so that's bad. I think there was just a moment to think, do I really need this? McBanterface, loving things as always. And this
No
is scary,
threads in
actually.
hand. Yeah.
Yeah. And suddenly, Hellier doesn't... It's okay, but it doesn't feel great, right? So, like, turn 4 very suddenly feels quite late into the game for McBanterface, doesn't it? Just facing down this much of the board.
Yeah, I mean, he's now in a position where he kind of has to malted magma, and I think the question then is if he uses the remaining weapon charge now to sort of accept some power in play. You know, it'd be tempting to keep it there so you can grow this minion with the Rainbow Seamstress, but I think he just wants to keep things from getting away from him. But yeah, I mean, the difference, like, having Exarch means any Rangari scout has the potential to just fill your hand immediately.
Yeah, it's just work miracles,
Oh,
right? Basically, is what it's going to do. I wouldn't even hate it because, like, this turn to maybe set it up, because you've just seen the drinks, or at least some of them. There's Glacial Shard to defend it a little bit more. Like, I'm worried that if Proyun doesn't Rangari this turn, is this turn just not achieving anything, right? And if you commit to the hero power first, and it's not great, then you've whiffed a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna go for the Garifta with the Rangari.
Yeah, lots of potential good hits. Unlike, you know, if you were doubling the battle cry, you are just going to get 2 of the same one. Steel can always be quite potent, for sure.
Yeah, and this is the big difference, right? Where in this position, Proyun doesn't exactly have like the craziest hand in the world, and there's a Rangari on board that's going to get cleaned up likely, let's say. The difference is though, there's the hero power active, right, for Proyun, so he can just go fishing every single turn. So it's so much better than just having the normal Hunt hero power of dealing 2, which will effectively not really achieve anything. But Bannerface does have to work out how and if he can actually deal with this Rangari, because that has to be priority number 1.
Yeah, one option, if he doesn't see too much value in this counterfeit amulet, is he could steal the
As a silly person, I am torn between
trade over the Rangari Scout. That would be a way to
a
sell
turtle.
mana remaining to get Helya.
I'm torn between saying what kind of dog is this and
totally
what kind of baguette is this.
Wanting to just sort of swing things around in a much more impactful way here with the cheese. 4 is a solid number.
Yeah, nothing
No,
exceptional coming off the
yeah.
cheese.
You know what's also starting now with fried chicken.
It's going to be enough to clear up this, but it's enough on board, but nothing standing out.
I mean, 4 is often a place where it's like, there are some standouts, but importantly, there's nothing terrible at 4 for the most part.
I'm so slow, man, after streaming today.
Majority of the time.
Regular stream before.
The here is the 3-3.
Behind the beneath. I just like, I woke up and I felt weird and tired. And I still do. Why I slept 7 hours, I don't get it. Why do I feel like I've slept 3 hours?
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Start using at least one of these amulets to steal and make some of these trades work. It's going to clear up the board. Seems like an okay trade for both players, honestly. The 2 amulets to deal with the cheese board.
Yeah.
Maybe I need some milk! Coffee.
You know, it's a bummer to lose that board. There's so much worse things that can be stolen.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah. Normally it's very, it feels very aggressive amulets,
Baguettes.
right? Whereas this is a very defensive pair of amulets to just hold on more than anything. Not stealing any Ziliaxes, you know, or anything like that, which ups the tempo of most games.
Yeah, and there's the Helya.
You have earned an eternity of torment.
Just an incredibly powerful effect, all on its own, even without dedicating a whole deck to it, and there you see.
Already doing work.
I mean, you may say, oh, well, but if Proyun can always pick not the Plague, then aren't they, so much worse? But if it buys enough time with him just not seeing the full suite of options, then that's still making a meaningful difference.
100%. Like, if I said to you, oh, the Discover actually only gives you 2 options, that's just worse, right? Like, it's just like actually worse.
Wow, that's disgusting.
So, yeah, it still 100% has an impact, and because they're not going to go
Let's
away,
use my ass.
it's going to have, like, it's got multiple layers of impact, these Plagues being in the deck, so, yeah, definitely a good upside. But this board is not really it for Proyun.
Ass handkerchief to clear up that.
Yeah, seeing ticking pylon Ziliax come down for 6 mana, not really much.
Right. And that's the thing with both of these decks, they just have so much, relentless value that they will sort of just like smack against each other until one falls over. There is a good amount of Discover now, though, for this Rangari Scout, so things are definitely going to happen. Was that 2 Plagues then?
It was 2 Plagues, so there was really only one
you go.
option. Ended up being a pretty solid option in birdwatching.
Yeah.
There's Vigilant if he wants it to keep the scouts coming.
Bruh.
Let me just double check. I know.
I'm in a world's time loop.
Can't quite remember what exactly the ETC was. Give me
So-
1 second, apologies. Eridar, Brute, Fizzle, and Armor Vendor.
So probably gonna be the Fizzle. Oh, of course, getting
Yoink,
multiple
yoink, yeah.
amulets back again. When it gets buffed on this.
Oh, cause yeah. Another Rangari. Okay, well, Proion's definitely pulled himself back, but that's the point, right? That's all it takes is just Rangari and a Discover, and suddenly you can be in this position, which seems a lot better than last turn.
Yeah, it could come down to whether Banter is able to spend enough corpses to get to some kind of climactic necrotic finish. But we've got a lot of game ahead of us, right? We're at 27 and 30 life. It's just constant battles for the board.
Get comfortable is the message of the day so far.
Probably trying to work.
I even
out the
slept
threads
another
here.
20 minutes just now. Especially our view stream was so good I fell asleep turning into the other side.
Oh,
I'm still feeling fucking tired.
Zilliax. I feel like those are the options, right? You isolate the Zilliax or you take
It's
out
like
the
a...
Right. Oh yeah, this will work, right? Just gets rid of the scout. Okay.
Yeah, there's a little bit of weirdness, right? You steal the thing, goes on your side, it gets smaller.
Yeah. Might have been a little bit tricky there, but honestly, I mean, I've not been holding a timer, but this match has been going on for a while, so I imagine fatigue IRL might be setting in as well.
Yep.
It's kind of hard to stay that focused for that long when there's a lot on the line as well.
Detailed notes that actually, you know, this Scarab is like the one source of discovering things that aren't in your deck, and sometimes it can just set up these crazy chains where you discover a 2-cost card, that 2-cost card also has Discover on it. And in this case, you know, detailed notes could pull a couple of large beasts that could be wild cards.
Yeah, and now the big question of me is this Incendious enough to... Oh, never mind. I was going to say, is it enough to draw out the Ceaseless Expanse, but... Reska coming to save the day, potentially. I think I'd put more value on Ceaseless, like say keeping that in hand over Reska.
Yeah, what I'm actually looking at is like, how much value do I put on the Zilliax, right? It's able to gain you life, which is a thing that it does that other things
Would
don't.
you rather get a wand or would you get a baguette, champ?
Reska has value for stealing your opponent's Ceaseless, right?
Yeah, true.
But it is just the cleanest way of dealing with this.
Yeah. It's funny that this Draenei is actually protecting the Incendious from Headless Horseman, right?
Was there 40 grams of sugar in this? But it says cheesy popcorns here. I don't see...
The roll of the eyes of it, Bannerface.
It could just have some
It's
cheese.
fine. I don't get anything out of this Incendious, but it's a board.
Yeah, my opponent doesn't get anything either now, so you know that's the option you take. I think that's the weird thing about this matchup specifically is outside of like a few very specific cards, both decks kind of just throw stuff at each other and see what sticks.
Oh,
right?
no, not stuff.
So it's just like it probably
Please
feels
don't
like
clarify
Bannerface,
either.
There's no like great progression going on.
Am I
in
suffering
actually
wrong?
winning this game. They're just holding on, and kind of the same for Pro, you know.
Yeah, it feels like I'm high
I
on
can just keep making stuff. Like,
horse tranquilizer. No.
At the point of hand size, right? If you
The other stuff you get at a dentist.
to go for the detailed
Right.
notes or the UTC, right?
I can't suck dick.
I guess. Oh, here's
Wow,
the
that's
issue,
one of
right?
the
So
most
you discover
famous
the fizzle, you get
sentence
2 fizzles.
lines
So
of the
this is how the deck goes infinite. I assumed there was an
Yeah.
infinite.
starts
I just-
crying.
nowadays, we always have to assume there's an infinite.
Yeah, it's really true.
So a lot of other junk in that hand besides the Ceaseless and the Fizzle, but there's still a Ceaseless.
You think, you know?
And this is
I was
still
thinking about
happening as
this.
well, though, right? Which is not to
Dumbass.
to be ignored, honestly.
Yeah.
Figured out her mom doesn't make her own lasagna, but she buys it, and she's like, you think you know
At
somebody?
this point, it's just like
Gives off the same energy.
3 damage hero power is looking pretty
Baguette energy. What is baguette energy anyway, chat? What does that make you? What do you think that would be?
Yeah,
notable.
this has to be the moment, right? Because so now I don't know if you'll agree, but I feel like it's fair to say that Proyon will win like the long game, right? Because they've literally got just infinite amount of whatever they want at this point.
Sure.
So I do think that Bannerface does have to start really just trying to piece together a way to actually end this game.
Yeah, I think he's certainly in the position of aggressor. His value is less. There is a Kill Jaden in ETC for Banter, but there's just a lot less draw in the deck, right? I mean, for one, you don't get a hero power that just draws you a card in return.
Right.
But also there's not even Chill Fallen Barons in the deck, or
Right.
nothing like the Acolyte of Death. It's really just buttons, which he already got. He drew for 2 instead of 3, since both Malted Magmas were already in hand. But I guess Miracle Salesman is the one other. So unless he starts picking up some of these important late game tools, like really ETC for Kill Jaden, or just like Airlock Breach,
Right.
Climactic Necrotic Explosion. That's kind of
Yeah, that's the problem. Thing. I think like the worry even with like Kill Jaden is that going to be multiple Ceaseless expanse? Like probably not. You know, like unless the Kill Jaden's like way earlier. But like yeah, probably not. So they are going to need to piece together a couple of good things right now. Maybe this is the time for the Zilliax to just get it out. It's 9 mana, it's clunky and awkward. Just play it and go.
Yeah. There's not even. Oh no, sorry. There is a Primus. I was getting lost in weeds here though. But yeah, no good way of like guaranteeing that he'll find that head for the hero power, which would be his best way of sort of being able to
Keep
combat
it up,
all
sort
the
of thing,
shenanigans.
right?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Just three every turn. You don't have healing. What else are we gonna do?
Yeah, both players have upgraded the hero power, but I think Proyon's is better.
Yeah.
Bro, got some armor.
With Bannerface with Roll of the Eyes. I think the problem here is like Bannerface just doesn't have a direction to go.
Yeah, some
in
a
the
drummer.
game, whereas Proyon has already locked the path in, right? It's I am going to infinite either Ceaseless Expanse, there's tide pools in that as well. There's whatever at this point, like an almost endless list of cards. So that's my game. I will keep.
What do you guys
doing
think of
this,
all the
and
parrot
Bannerface,
cards?
You have to do something that beats that, as opposed to me.
There's like 15 parrot cards now, and they're like
His response is, "I'm gonna hit you
tickles
for 3
my
every turn
insane
until I
membrane a little bit.
Necrotic Explosion,
Right,
and hit you for more."
They're everywhere.
I'd love to see just ship everything face here from Proyon. Parallax Cannon as well for more damage.
I think Proyon has recognized that, okay, if Banter is just going to go phase every time, right, he's taking that
Oh, my
motion
leg.
that has the 4 armor, because with Griff to spend, that's his only way of gaining health.
I'm actually even surprised the trade went onto the Incendius there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 5 damage. Like, the Incendius is doing nothing, right? And you've got the cow.
This is a thrust of despair.
Yeah,
No, that's
Fart in the
something
crown
that
of
I
despair.
just took 5.
I think he's basically just sort of committed to this full defense plan, right? I mean,
It's
I
weird,
say,
but I'm
I say,
just
I
thinking-
say full defense. He's got dominating board presence, but
Yeah, full defense, opponent has no board, I have full. That's the thing though, I think like with this board, like, sure, it could get cleared, right? There are ways to clear the board, but there's also like 2 Parallax cannons in hand. Like, I don't know, you just want to start hitting them in the face, and then if you get into trouble, you have the ceaseless.
yeah. Banter's going to Exodar out the Ziliax, I think mostly to spend 9 corpses to upgrade Climactic Necrotic Explosion.
Bro is playing what?
It's sort of like, oh, alright, still gonna value killing the scout. I might have expected.
Oh, was there a different play there?
Oh, my
Is
back.
When it's attacked,
Takes damage.
was there a world where there was an attack, the hero
Bro,
into the
doesn't
cash
care
card
about the
to give one
explosion.
more coin to burn a card?
I guess if you're gonna do that, maybe use threads though.
Yeah, true. Yeah. It was just because it only needed one more
hamster less
coin to
expands.
10.
Sure.
Paris.
I'm just thinking of weird things Banter can do to, like steal the game, for example.
It would be fun if I made vegan sandwiches. I say it to be a little hamster nest, but still you're like dipping parrots in the tea. A complicated, expensive job, but very well worth it.
Oh, I knew we hadn't seen enough of those this game yet.
Oh, that is a good point. Yeah, Sol, which I'm sure he enjoys, is writing me of you don't want to burn a plague, which is very accurate. So yes,
Sure.
good shout, Sol. I'll give you that one, my friend.
Yeah, I guess one potential out, although I don't know how much this out exists with the fizzles at play, but one potential out is reaching a world where the Discoverer just sees plagues when there's hardly any cards in deck left.
Even just the plagues making some turns a bit awkward, chipping away, maybe that's something that's going to help.
Here's the decision point. Do you take Kill Jaden from UTC and expect to play it with or without having found the Horseman's Head?
Ugh. It's tricky. I think that decision does have to be made now. I just don't know what the answer is. Because the longer you wait, the worse it gets, right? With Kill Jaden.
Yeah.
That is a good question.
Hasn't seen Primus yet either.
Yeah. I guess there's still one more draw, right? Before you jam it anyway.
Oh, gonna do this clear.
What's bro saving ceaseless for the next game?
I don't know. Probably talking to stream.
Oh, there's some plagues.
Oh right. Yeah, I guess if you draw
Bro's
them at
gonna
the top
die
of
when
the
he
turn,
runs
they
out of
still have-
cards.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Maybe he should take the bot plague
Just
here.
make the turns a little bit more awkward, right?
Around
Frostbite
the
coming out,
infinite.
Things are gonna be a bit more expensive.
Yep.
It's something dealing
Go up.
damage.
At least they're having a big brain game. The first one
That's
so
something
far
Banner's
in
noticed
Worlds.
after, and he's probably
The
frustrated
ban is
that
not
he doesn't
every
see more
game.
plagues yet,
Yeah.
with obviously how fast the deck's been drawn through.
Agramar
That
the
is, you know, that does
aggressive
stack up, right? If 1 or 2 plagues proc
Baguette.
across a couple of turns, that is damage. It's something.
You should at least ceaseless as ceaseless.
It's just tempo
Bro.
season.
Bro.
It looked like it, although
I mean,
in that case,
It
Miss-
sets up lethal.
missequence.
Sure,
They can
yeah.
sort of change plans mid-turn. He's just trying to make space for.
Yeah,
the
I think that was a
photograph.
definite pivot, wasn't it? A turn
Yeah.
pivot scenario of just like, oh, actually, what if I do this?
Yeah.
M from microwave.
That.
Another ceaseless go.
Oh, we're burning a card, right? 3, 4, 5.
Instant ceaseless back. Yeah, but again, this might be this.
Oh,
Yeah.
CNE in hand. Are we doing it? Oh, I guess you know that there's a ceaseless for your opponent.
Right. I mean, I could hear the argument for Quartzite.
Yeah, Quartzite, Hero Power.
Face
Yeah.
side crusher.
Damage.
Lock the weapon out of your opponent.
Baguette,
bit of healing for you.
baguette.
Honestly, looking more appealing than Kill Jaden right here. Like, I think it is much too late for Kill Jaden to get you there. It's very unlikely you even get to play it. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's one of those ones where it's like if you look at it in terms of racing, let's say, then it's like a massive damage difference because you're locking them out of the weapon. So it's a huge damage swing. Eruption gets burnt. Taken.
Oh, right.
Oh wait, yeah,
We forgot
that's a
that
good
was in
point.
there.
yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
that's gonna be enough, right?
Bro
Yeah,
clutched
I mean,
it
it's not
out.
like
Damage
there
is
were
in the
other-
tide pool.
The
It's
steel
not like
butt
there were other
cheeks.
options.
Yeah. Wow. What a game. What an ending.
Bro
And I
deserves
will
the.
say, it definitely felt like Proyon over the course of this series is very happy to play these.
What a
drawn-out
handsome
games.
young
And he can
midget.
Just sit and do the thing, and he knows exactly what he wants to do. So Proyon, sorry, they are going to be making it out of Group B already, so their job is done, and maybe they're going to go and grab.
Me specifically,
No.
because it means that they won't do.
Bro, it's not
Every time I
interesting to
see
listen
the
to.
name Maxibon,
But yeah, it's a lot of that preparation. 30.
Finding some
plus
more
odd
men
mana,
to
and I have
listen
no
to.
ramp. I
No,
can just
I'm
turn
kidding.
my brain off and watch you and
yeah, this.
There.
Yep. So yeah, Starship Rogue. Interesting choice for Maxi. Maxi never really does the standard stuff, you know, trolling aside about what he said he was going to
That's
bring.
not technically a haircut,
He
I
is
think.
primarily known for complex combo decks, for decks that play from off-board quite significantly, decks that play from behind and then catch up with swing turns. He's not really known as a tempo gamer, let's put it that way. He doesn't play 1-drop on 1, 2-drop on 2, beat you up. He likes to gather resources, do powerful things. Which is certainly a thing that Starship Rogue does. I don't know whether I would describe it as a combo deck as such, but it is certainly a Maxi style deck at the very least.
yeah. To be fair though, I will say that Starship Rogue as an archetype is kind of fake. It's like 20 cards the same. You're just putting in starships
Yeah.
because the 8 to 10 other cards don't matter all that much, and it does give you some late.
Damn, bro.
games. Every single rogue is playing Prep, Shadowstead, Breakdance, Oracle, Sonya, Grifta, and Scoundrel, right? And anything you put around that can work as long as it's cohesive. I would say.
Cohesive, you lost me there already.
Fake,
What is he talking about?
I've seen Starship Rogues that are Starship Rogues, if you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah.
Starship Troopers.
Also, can we talk about? I felt like I cast a whole series where people didn't just.
I like this meme where Buzz Lightyear
It's
is like in a rainbow acid background. It just messed up. The text goes like this: when you're at a family reunion,
Yeah, at the same time,
And
you know, we're on
on
turn
acid, your
6,
mom
and
calls
each of us
you
has made, like, 1 or 2
a miserable
points.
mistake,
True.
and then
In
they
the
say
last
it goes
series,
like
they
this.
discussed
I'm
the
sorry, ma'am.
merits
I think
of
the
every
correct
card in
term
Hearthstone by
you're
turn
referring
5.
to is Space Ranger.
You can always tell the people that aren't necessarily super experienced with like settling into a 2.5-hour series or whatever, because they go too early. You know, like you sit back and you listen to them talking about things on turn 4 of game 1, and be like, you're gonna want that. That was good. You know, it was
Yeah.
a good piece of information. But you're gonna want that in an hour's time, and it's already gone.
Yep, there's those. There's the ones that save it, and then game 5 they let it all out. And then there's me. I never get to it. Okay. Going for the dehydrate game plan. Matchbox spotted that immediately. And rehydrate.
Bro, it's 2 HP.
Down as well. Maxi is at least 4 actions ahead of what we're looking at, I think, currently. Oh, come on, it makes all this pieces
I know!
as well! No, I refuse. I'm boycotting this cast until they take all of the signatures out.
Yeah, also Starship pieces, no idea. Signature Starship pieces, no idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely no idea.
Bro is 17 HP now.
But I would say that's a pretty good turn. Was at 2 life, now is at 21, and effectively used 0 resources.
What's he keep getting copies that fucking
Wonders
card?
of Sonya. And Scoundrel. Don't forget Scoundrel.
Should be at it one time, right?
Mexibon just made like roughly 30 actions. Definition. Go good.
Yeah, and the dehydrate was super crucial there, right? Because, yeah, you know, Maxi's a pretty dominant position with resources and soon to be bored as well with the Sonya stuff, but was still weak to just straight up Wind Fury weapon damage if it kept up at this rate. But just rebounding all of that health straight back up was huge as well.
Hasn't even started building the Starship yet, by the way. It's okay, not a huge deal.
Average Hearthstone turn. 6 out of 10.
Oh! Nailed it!
Oh, it's like it's 2015 all over again.
Oh, yeah.
Just sending some.
You can even
You know?
I know. Back in the simpler days where you just Spirit Claws and then on turn 2 you just had a 25% chance to win.
Yeah, you just pressed a button and saw if you won the game or not.
Yeah. Rocket Shardfield. That's a good name. What's your name, detective? Rocket Shardfield.
Well, hadn't started building it. As soon as he starts building it, immediately he wins the game.
To the sounds of pulsating death metal. I don't know what song he said. I have no idea.
Time.
Yeah, it was time something.
Time warped ambiguity.
What? It was definitely. That's the name of one of the Starship pieces that he threw in.
Yeah. No, that's Fellforge ambiguity.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I could
But
describe
yeah,
most of
as
them.
TJ mentioned, like, yes, that was Starship Road. Yes, Exodar launching a ship was the ultimate action that ended the game, if you want to count the concede. But if you replace those cards with...
I also more jokes around down here, because I feel like I should write them
the
down.
result's pretty similar, right?
So many silly
Like,
things per
it was a big clear, it was
day,
a Scoundrel
hamster.
turn, it was an early
Ah!
Scoundrel, it was a big pop-off turn. Most importantly, it's one of the most comfortable players in the world with Sonya shenanigans.
This is the scenic passage. It's like brain surgery and cat biting your toe at the same time. I think it's silly when stuffy Americans end their sentences with fried chicken and baguette.
In the fires of Wild as well. So when it comes to just doing,
I was gonna do an animation of Mario, low quality fat Mario, without blinking slurps a hamster, because I is a spicy meatball.
Lately, he's been an arena player too, which I also think is a very looked over skill set. Because you do learn.
If I get a farting unicorn and name it Seabreeze.
What all the random cards do, and two,
That's
you
it.
learn the
There's
names
random
of
things to
the-
say at a job interview.
Of the signature art.
Who don't have twerking at their birthday? Shocker Shakira.
These things.
How's
So,
it really- You have to have the signature for the draft to show you the signature version of a card.
One more.
Right?
you do, yes.
I laid my left nut
Yeah.
Benedict
Same,
Cumberbatch on his performance as Sherlock Holmes.
Mhm.
I think I don't have any signature cards except for the ones.
Just a
that
few
just
right now,
straight
but
give you.
it'll be cohesively
There's actually quite a bit.
degenerate and retarded soon, eventually.
Yeah,
Sooner than you think.
There's a whole bunch of signature cards in the game that everyone recognizes because they're the ones that just get given to you for free.
Yeah.
And then there are the others. No one knows.
Thanks for the follow.
There.
You like me streaming someone else's content?
Yeah, they are.
Oh. Ooh.
Well, it is Worlds, it's fine.
Nah.
Kick guy.
My only argument for the jam session is it looks like this might be your best turn to over.
Kinda seems like a fake. He's kinda fake as well, like it's someone just saying that.
I'm not sure.
Why are you
that's
really
a
here?
compelling argument.
Don't report my VOD. Don't report me.
Oh, cactus cove. Wow. Okay. Not the line I was expecting.
Oh, skydiving into Cookie. Good stuff.
You're gonna watch me, I'm gonna ban you, how about that?
Oh, skydiving into Cookie.
Yeah.
See, Cookie, I didn't even recognize the Cookie signature card. That's literally
Now
just
unfollow
process
me.
eliminations. Not many 3-drops
Yeah,
in the deck.
exactly.
There's only 2 actually in Maxibon's deck. It's only Cookie
I'm a
and-
mind reader, remember?
and
I mean,
Gorgon
there was a
Zormu.
visible frog-like creature wearing a pirate hat. It didn't seem like that big a leap to work out what that card was.
Whoa! Sarcastic Sottle from the intro's back.
He never left, TJ.
I think I will have less problems if I unban you actually.
Cookie or Hosen?
Notice that's the only thing I care about here. It works better on certain kinds of criminals. That feel powerful on most of the internet.
Could even be Bouncer, honestly.
Just cheeseburger. And your drink.
Yo, he's a good roll.
Your price, keep to Yoda.
Yo, okay. Alright, we take those. No 2-2s, no 2-1s. Full health all the time.
Cookie.
Yeah, the Cookie and the Geode.
Oh, never mind. That's how you game. That is how you game.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so much panic.
Nah.
Only a 2-2, what a bad player.
Keep on panning.
Keep on panning. You're darn right. You're darn right. Pop up baguettes.
Pretty good. That's the Starship. I don't even know what the name of that is. This is a Kasi spell.
Yeah.
It's the 1/4.
Mind reading baguettes.
Debating taking any amount of value bumps here between 0 and 2.
Old Pinner doesn't have a tribe, right? No, it doesn't.
No.
Zero.
Still feel like I need something to drink. Gonna go for my third soda today.
It's
Also,
weird
iced
'cause
coffee
you
as
could
well.
Make the argument that bumping jumping in just kind of pre-rolls you into Lightning Storm because you put the damage on the 1/4 anyway, but doing it this way like lets the 2/6 bump into the 4/5 and then you're more vulnerable to Lightning Storm from Gift that way. It's a tough decision. I'm not
Here we go, we're stepping smart now.
large period of
You never
time
know what can happen this stream.
considering those trades.
We can see here that damaging your own board still gives him an advantage because you choose the trades, which means being on your own turn is
You can
an
make the
advantage.
trades next turn to get the best value from the heal.
Yeah, sure.
Like react to what Maxibon's doing. Maxibon knows coin is still there. I don't know if that weighs into the decision making at all.
Do this, go 2-1 into 2-2.
Yeah.
Yep. This looks good.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, stay in the deck. Go back.
Ooh.
And quiet.
Now bump.
It's not that good of a play, you know what I'm
feel
saying? 6 mana.
Particularly good.
No
Just
spell in hand, and you're coining it anyway, which means that the spell discount effect isn't really being used. So it is a pretty weak Golgan.
Is there ever a world where you deal damage to the
And not true actually, people who
gold panner?
say really fussy things,
You hold on to the
first message, I love your content, always have the best humor ever. I just follow you to monitor you.
Still takes off 2 minions.
Do you leave up something else at that point?
You'd leave up 2 minions, yeah, but it'd be the
You want your
1/1 would
reaction
now be
also.
a 3/4,
Right.
and then your 1/4 would die, and then you left up with
Using the weirdness of the ESFJ
right,
personality,
so you have to
completely
1/1.
Yeah.
useless,
Maybe I did.
pointless.
Because then pop-up book wouldn't kill
But
us by
stupid
itself,
like
because
that.
it'd be 4 power on board. And if Maxibon can't clear it, then you have the AoE for next turn.
Yeah, that's the big kicker for me, because sometimes against this deck, like...
There's so
they
many
go-
people
they
right
go
now who are
to
ESFJ, they don't understand
You don't
themselves. Why am I so
have to
weird?
kill it all of the
Why am I
time.
pulled into these
Like,
directions?
that is the best one in their deck most of the time. The other two aren't as impactful as they used to be in, like, Nature Shaman, right? Where you'd leave it alive and then they draw 3 overloads and you die. Like, that's not the case necessarily with this deck.
Oh no! He was gonna greedy partner, but the Star Ocean piece reduced the cost of the
Something is so fucking funny, man.
Yeah, no one knew that was going to happen. If you're
I
in
had
chat
no
right
idea.
Now, if you're in chat right now going, "Oh, what an idiot!" Everyone, I knew that. No, you're lying. Shut up. Get out. Someone ban that person.
Something is so fucking
Oh, that.
Achoo. Ah!
See, another reason why the one should have dealt 20
Ah.
and traded the 1/4 in.
Yeah.
Oh.
You should have just killed it all. Should have just killed it all. 'Cause it's pure downside. Oh. Oh well, in that case, I guess we'll just win the game. $18, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26? No,
No.
not quite.
You can jam session as
It's
well.
29, I think.
I feel empty right now unless I drink something delicacy.
Just Grofin then? Couple trades Grofin.
Looks fine.
Could still jam session. Like trade off a couple of the 1/1 jam session, and that's like
Yeah.
that's a full clear.
You get to neophyte that way as well.
Yeah, you get the neophyte and then like miracle salesman, or even skydiving just to set up.
Oh, it's kind of butt-lust.
Oh, lightning
Whoa.
storm.
Sacking
Ah.
the Bloodlust was not on my Christmas list.
Bros win from Bloodlust. Maxi Bon is falling into a stupid
Okay. Okay.
bout. I think smacking with a baguette
Maxi does
in the name of God is the best way out of this. So clear his mind.
Where 99 out of 100 players.
Yes, I do use this method for a lot of reasons, often.
Why are you so dumb? And Maxi insists that this is the correct line.
Bros can draw another one.
Like,
Never
it's
mind.
not entirely illogical, right? Like, he's saying, I have a board, or you clear it, and I have a board. Right? Either way, I get to have a board. But yes, what he has just done there is set his sigil on fire.
Yeah. Starship.
Such a weird player, but he wins a lot. You know?
Yes.
Bro is making misplays instead of winning a lot.
I still don't think I like that play.
I would not have done that play. I would have like traded some 1-1s, jam session, neophyted, pushed everything face. That was my plan. I also
His
think
fight is
this
rude,
Griffin
it's truly weird.
was better than what happened, but you know, Maxi wins more games of Hearthstone than I. It's not even the setting the sigil on fire part. It's the not having bloodlust in your hand anymore part that bothers me. Like that's I'm very confused.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what he could be.
I'm confused too,
playing
baby.
Like Grofin.
I missed you more than a retard. Misses the point.
I guess Horn of the
What do
Windlord,
you
but
mean?
would have preserved a pop-up book, frog. So only one would have died, and that would have been the entire turn's of definition. And then next turn, you go Thrall skipped into Bloodlust because you would have still.
I can say that because I'm autistic. Or
even
more
the
like,
jam
I can say that even more.
Jam session play may have been weak.
Just
to
I've
Thrall
played
skip, Lightning Storm on the other side.
League of Legends and Smite MOBA. Everyone in rank is retarded. I spent time amongst them for
You
like
can follow
5,000 hours.
Grofin if it happens.
I can say the R word.
Then you're weak to Horn of the Windlord. I don't know.
I also been thinking by sucking 100 dicks, I can say the F word as well. It's all about getting
Still
respect,
winning.
Chad.
Maybe.
Have you spoken too soon, TJ?
So I've been drumming this entire stream. It's literally,
Very
it's not
much
even a
better
good beat.
than just being -1 board
It's just
space.
the ambient music.
That's fun.
Grofin. Nerfin.
Second time in the game, the Maxi has been 1 damage off lethal.
Yeah, I have Asperger's, whatever.
Anywhere near good enough? No. Okay, Maxi gets over the line in the
You hear
end.
that in the speech.
Perhaps takes a somewhat surreptitious route to get there, but the result remains the same. Maxi Bon 1, 2, 3, 4.
I spoke to some aliens of the
His
butt
full
prob with
proper
me,
name is stated by
and they
the
were like,
Is
if we use this healing bed, we're gonna get rid of your autism diagnosis. That's just like a fixable flu-like disease for us. Shit, I don't know what's left, man.
I thought that meant like sneakily.
Yeah.
I really feel
Kept
different.
secret, especially because it would not be approved of. I guess the second part of that sentence was what I was leaning into, but it wasn't the best word to use. You're right. You're right to call me out on it, TJ, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Boom. That's like the first time in a long time that you said a long word that I actually like knew what it meant. So normally I would just let it slide.
Flamingo.
until, like, he
It's
could
pretty
probably-
funny now, actually, the Flamingo joke, and they're both wearing the shirts like
I mean, the accent
inconspicuously.
sounds good. He
Yeah.
probably knows what he's talking about. It's just it's my career in a nutshell, honestly.
Let the hunt.
Yeah.
Ross got a 3-0.
This hand is very surreptitiously.
Either syrup,
Well, I
syrup,
didn't say
surreptitious,
very
maybe, but dark
surreptitiously
syrup.
for a start. To be
You
clear,
you kind of did.
I kind of did, yeah.
All right. Well, definition's on the play and has a 1-drop.
Any problem?
Nice.
And spirit of the team. It's not.
Oh, that synergy feels good, man.
So
But we also know
the
it's
game
good.
still continues.
It's game winning at the same time.
These are the hands you need.
We're
to
fooling
do.
ourselves.
It continues for a little bit.
Yeah.
Not the greatest hand for Maxi at the moment, and this deck already struggles to kind of come back. You just kind of discover simple pieces and then go for a big push. Usually when you fall behind with alien encounters, but that takes some time to assemble. So all right, it's Grifta. I was like, I don't even know what that is.
I could.
Oh,
One time I tried to.
Actually
Yeah.
have their merit there, I think.
I put the. I found
like
one
this
time.
with the strides, though. This helps with the.
I'm pretty funny,
Yeah,
Shaz.
that I
Yeah, no,
mentioned.
Even nobody's looking. One time I figured out the
And
position of
also
it, and then the
there's
butt
double
probe them
signature.
back
From the mantle
with
shapers.
the closest
Sort of-
shaped
in
object
that
I could
regard,
find.
Sort of double synergy with the Ziliax as well.
You're gonna get it now!
Also, double synergy with the alien encounters.
No,
No.
no.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah. Nice try, Asala, but that was very surreptitious.
I should have been more surreptitious with my casting, actually.
Yeah. More or less, one or the other. Not where you
Right.
were, though.
It was the exact wrong amount.
Of
All 16 HP.
surreptitiousness.
My brain pitched the start of that sentence, and I realised, okay, I'm just gonna have to cut this one short because I genuinely do not know what the word is.
Is there a noun?
Oh, just full of surreptity right now.
That was a maximum play. Très bon.
Nice. Huge.
Bros a full board at
Oh
turn
wow.
4.
Okay, I looked up surreptitious.
Bros
Big-
deck
see,
cannot
this is
handle
what I was
this.
talking about. A big push.
There's no time for America's Grandmasters meme casting, TJ. The Zoomers are playing Hearthstone.
I know. We should have been in the last one.
So,
I know how it's like to be so fucking smart. And you value things so innately and precisely.
Looking
But also
to
not
be
a
this
count.
way.
Oracle Burning Heart, you have
She's the asshole,
two
maybe.
remaining, so you can't hot coals. There's no Oracle trigger that.
For every guy who's like arrogant and makes you feel bad about not having any having on a
Yes,
35
get the
IQ, there's somebody
Ziliax.
like me
Uses a ton of power on
who
board,
is nice and smarter.
and then try and set up for hot coals best you can, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, that's a lot actually,
Yes, it is.
because each of those bananas is 2 plus another 2 from the hero power.
It's interesting, you cannot tolerate it. Ah, he's smarter than me, unless you're smarter. You can see the true value, and it is kind of pitiful.
Shuts off the acupuncture. Not quite
the
lethal.
third time in this series that Maxi has been 1 damage off lethal.
You want to send it all face? It shuts off the acupuncture, right? shuts off the acupuncture if you. Yeah, just. Nah, just gonna go all.
I don't know why he
the way
did
down.
that.
Okay.
It was a raw play. Everything could go raw.
I guess with meta active, you have to behave yourself a bit. Sure.
Yeah.
I would have been remarkably tempted to put my opponent to 2 there. Or, well, to 1 in this instance. But, you know, the point being 2 or below, I am a hunter. GG, go.
I would have been fine putting him to 4.
Witness true arcane magic. How enigmatic.
No tournaments. Except for that one. And these 2.
No.
This is another autistic savant chat. Even more savant. It's getting to get my kind of beard and mustache as well.
Wait. Finale rush,
The
go
rush
through.
goes through.
Is that exact?
Bro is so good at Smash.
It's exact.
Gonna be beaten by 5 other gods
No!
from like how many year duration?
Acupuncture damage!
5-10 years.
For the second time,
They lost to each
in
other.
as many groups on day 1 of the World Championships, we are left talking about
Nice headphones, Total.
symmetrical damage. For the second. Oh no! It is.
Finale rush.
Time grows short.
Wait. Finale rush,
The
go
rush
through.
goes through.
Is that exact?
It is.
It's
It
exact!
actually is.
Oh my god, bro is robbed. He punctured his liver and farted on in his crown of
For
despair.
the second time in as many groups on day 1 of the World Championships.
Take it,
We
boy.
are left talking
You have to learn to
about
take a hit unless you're in
symmetrical damage
Hearthstone
and how much
Worlds.
it mattered in that instance.
I didn't think it was enough at the end there.
Listen to this.
This hand,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, that could have made a real difference for sure.
Yeah. But I think if you just look Spirit of the Team up and set definition to 4, then it's 4. That ended up being a 5 damage acupuncture versus what Spirit of the Team would have given you 2 extra damage in that instance.
And in terms of 3 to 4 card combos that kill you, right, which is what you're looking at there, you're going, okay, they have Oracle and a spell in hand, and then the 2 spells that they draw kill me, right? That's the kind of instance that you're scared of. Acupuncture is part of basically all of them, because it just does more damage as an individual card than anything else
Yeah.
does. Burning
Yeah.
Heart kind of represented more real-world damage, because it dealt damage to the taunt as well, which was relevant to push through. But I still think Acupuncture is the card that's going to be the most important to ways that you die. And yes, as people are also talking about in our Discord, I believe ties in any match state that isn't 2-2 just give a win to both players, which means Maxi wins. The series is over. He wins 3-1 on a tie there. So yeah. Well,
Bro, he traded wrong and still fucking died.
When everything's said and done, it doesn't look like it's really going to matter much, huh?
Well. Okay, if there's no ice trap here. There is no ice trap here.
Okay. Has to respect the ice trap, but at a certain point you just have to say it's not ice trap. If we get a Dungar here, we have ramp and trail mix innervate, right? Like New Moon, you pick up Dungar next turn, you trail mix. Dungar's coming. Maxi just slammed both secrets. So you're expecting ice trap. Every time.
So your temptation here is to bait to burn the ice trap, and then you still get to new heights or do whatever else.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is fine, because if the Vate goes off, then you get to trail mix as well.
if you want a trail mix. Yeah, okay. Didn't even want a hero power because didn't want to play into the possibility of hidden meaning.
Trail mix would also rat, right? But you've tested 2 different secrets at that point already, so rat is extremely likely. So you hit rat and hidden meaning at that point by playing trail mix. So yeah, you definitely
Gotcha. Yeah. Wow, it's hero power. Yeah,
Agumon did 15 damage.
Hidden meaning.
Click it
Imagine
once.
if it was hidden meaning
That's
and
pretty good in
rat trap,
Hunter.
Trail mix there. Oh my
And you just
god.
die.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
it turns
my
out you just die anyway. So.
Right. My counter argument is, I guess yeah. It's only ramping into 8 anyway, isn't it? So yeah, I guess I was gonna make the counter argument that like trail mix spawn the rat and then just draw like Ziliax or Dungar or something off the top was the only win condition anyway. But it was only going into 8, not 9 anyway. So yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. This all
Actually-
kind of sucked.
Can you pendant for Dungar and then trail mix?
Actually, if you're in a negativity,
That is the only out I see currently.
So the
if you're in intellectual
It's not enough
negativity,
to
like
replace
subtle
Ziliax
about
in your
stuff
lives with
like
just hero power.
disappointed people,
10,
you're not
11,
thinking
8, yeah.
as brilliantly as you would on another kind of wavelength.
You're also alive to.
It's a dead end kind of thinking.
You're looking for
Okay,
freezing.
You want freezing now, yeah, for sure.
And probably ice. In case there's. Like ENR into refresh.
Maybe I should say, I think Solo's really cool now, actually. Also,
So yeah, that
He's
currently
like-
does not do that much.
worked on himself and his casting.
Which we're certainly not upset about.
Yeah, just end turn. Bada bing, bada boom.
Hitting
Ah,
the
big bad
button
boom, you're darn right.
Because it does just create an insurmountable amount of defense now, I think, for definition.
The goddamn,
Like, this outcome was huge. So even if you hit like Yogg there and end up full clear.
Oh my god,
then
bro had an
probably
answer to the
beating
fucking
anyway.
hunter turn.
So, like, a minion that spawns plus hero power kills you with the bananas on the following turn anyway, if you don't end up with taunts. So
That's a dumb deck. Bro, I thought to
I
myself,
think this was...
if he
one
wins
of the
that
best
game,
outcomes
he
we've
might
seen.
win this game as well,
Yeah.
even despite his amazing
Maxie
hunter
probably also
board here.
thinks that this Thunderbringer is going to pull second Stargazer out, but it's in the hand.
Yeah.
And then if you
Oh my
get
god,
through
Bros gonna
these
get another
taunts, their hydration station, perfect mana next turn.
If he had kill command, just a card like that.
So this feels. This does not. God, going into the Ziliax just feels terrible.
I don't like Celiax man, but also I don't have it, so it's worse.
Oh, now just hydration stations? You freeze the Dungar? Oh, I can't hydration station. There's a ice trap.
Is there? It was freezing and bargain bin that got chosen, was it not? Hold on.
Oh yeah, it was bargain bin at the end. You're right.
Yeah, no, it's not there.
Hidden meaning and bargain bin. That's why I wanted the ice trap.
yeah, TJ was 3 turns down the line. He was playing 5D chess.
No, last turn.
No, I know, I do agree. I also.
I just always want ice trap.
You know how you win
No, okay.
4 5D chess, Chad?
I mean,
I'm so
definition
smart to
still
figure it out. There's
thinks
always
it's
a
ice trap
position
because any reasonable person
that makes the right
situation
play
would have picked ice trap.
in the 5th dimension.
That's why you take.
You have to find it.
Because then you get.
We're also
credit
trying to
for
win
being ice
at
trap.
3D
You also
chess.
get
Yeah.
another secret.
Oh my gosh! Maxie's next level. I don't want ice trap anymore. Just never pick ice trap. They always think it is. You get 2 secrets for the price of 1. He's like, oh wow, what's an ice trap?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Respectful, and.
Bro has
respectful.
one
I
more
think
chance to
that-
hire this
I think
hunter. He's
that
not
is
gonna get
the
it,
exact
because he
point,
already got it twice.
where he could no longer lead. I think if I kept track of everything properly, Definition knew at that point because he was back down to the original 2 secrets from when he went like.
And it hurt both very close. Have to be brave. You could put anything in a decanter.
It's true. You could surreptitiously hide anything you wanted in the decanter.
You could. Max surreptitiousness with decanters. That was the
Alright,
that was
we're
the
gonna
game
need some
plan.
cards. We are going to need some cards.
Army of frogs.
Those are not cards.
It's a board that Definition cannot interact with, which I think is incredibly important.
They got a frog sign to pirates.
Interested in
Sexy.
a full board sigil of skydiving, TJ?
Toasty.
Okay, here, yes.
It looks kind of good, right?
Here, yes. I would
Yeah.
agree that here, yes.
Yeah.
Because what's Maxibon gonna do? Not kill things?
Uh-huh.
Don't think so.
And because you have the Hosen in hand, you're going to you're basically replacing your 3/1/2 taunts with 2/2s on the following turn.
Yeah. Now, if you're not setting up for lethal or like very close to it, is it worth it? So we have 16 and put into 20. Alright,
Let's go to the bathroom and grab something more to eat.
that full board sigil. Tricky.
Oh,
Oh my god, these trackings are so gross with the neophyte in play.
You gotta do one. Maxi wants to go for like a huge turn next turn, but I think you spend them in on one. At least that gives you a little bit more information. And then I like keeping the board full because it means that there's no opportunities for lethal. You can have one more turn. Ziliax is probably the only choice, unless you want to Titan Forge traps for like explosive.
You would have
it's-
loved 2 Ziliaxes though, right? It would have been huge. On the following turn when you're tracking
yeah.
+1 and you could afford to have done everything with the Ranieri Scout.
Yeah. Is it even worth trading with Ziliax? I don't even know. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's so much damage left up though. 16
Yeah, you get-
showing.
Yeah, but there's no way to find any more damage. That Horn of the Windlord's not there.
Yeah. Bloodlust costs 6 out of gift when you count the gift mana.
Yep. So now this has to be clear off most of the stuff. Alien encounters, Papa Ziliax.
These could belong to a brand new species.
Naga? Naga! Need a spell. Need a cheap spell. Is birdwatching cheap enough? No.
Where do we find it?
Because they're not active, right?
Nope. Can still. What do you have to Ziliax Cold Neophyte?
Yeah, right order. Can't get Ziliax to cost 0 anymore. So you have to do it this way. Spend 1 on the Zilly. Trade through. Spend 2 on the Neophyte. 246, 246. Yep, the Sigil Pirates. Existing board just plows through. And that means Maxi gets the reverse sweep. Or sorry, Maxi gets reverse swept, I should say. Definition coming back all the way, and oh my goodness, I was not expecting to come into this tournament and have to spend so much time talking about self-damage from acupuncture, but here we are again.
Oh my god, definition 1.
It's
Oh
could
my god, Maximon deserves to win.
Maxi in that situation.
He's not gonna bring Hunter next time, is he?
We're again results oriented. In order for us to make a 100% accurate call that should have played around acupuncture, you'd have to go back and piece together every different scenario. That could be something that Maxi saw that we did not, but it did seem like the right call, and that was the 3-0, right? So it even if there was a situation where there was a tie because Max was up 2-0,
He has to not play the sigil on the turn when we were.
Shep, what's with this? Something which was better at saying was she made fucking beans. Beans.
Pretty good here because well, what's Maxi gonna do? Not
Beans.
They bugging, bro. Why, bro? She made fucking beans. What the fuck?
It's different.
They bugging, bro. Why, bro? She made fucking beans. What the fuck?
Cruelty is temporary. A handicap is forever. Break your leg.
Do here, but I don't really see it.
I did make some fucking beans actually. I wanted to make some goulash soup.
Yeah.
But she turned it this time.
So I might just take the hero card.
It didn't taste really meaty anyway.
Yeah, I don't think hero power threads clears everything.
The meatiest fucking soup has gotta be goulash soup. It's kind of nasty with a big cube of meat that's kind of like doesn't taste very good and it's a nasty texture, but the broth is very good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then the animation kicked in. I was like, okay, fair enough.
If you even get a noticeable amount of meat with your purchase.
Yeah. Now things get a little bit tricky.
Saucy! She made fucking beans! I need to make a joke like, wow, it's suck my own dick.
Yeah,
Hearthstone
well, it's nice
deck.
once you have the eruptions shuffled.
Exactly, yeah, just go. I mean, I guess there's also only 2 cards left in the deck, but this can speed it up, right? So,
yeah,
not too bad.
I think it was just.
Watch you get drops, bitch!
Using the remaining
Wait, that's me.
space.
In Twitch chat.
I think Banter's hope is basically to get out both Frosty Decors, try and survive that
I
way.
could eat goulash soup every day. The bet is like €4 per can.
Right, because Prorian basically can do whatever at this point into, they're basically drawing a deck, right? So they have the
5 is a
clear-cut
good spot.
options of what
It's
to do.
really,
Obviously
it's
minus
really
the
good.
cards they've already played. But yeah, it's definitely tricky because Banterface isn't exactly on a million health. And yeah, there's the armor, but it's not that much when you're getting sort of a complete freebie incendious sort of option.
One reason to not get children is you get your own free time for like 20 years, several hours per day. If you have a kids, you can just gotta do stuff all the time that you're supposed to do. And the autistic people have a harder time doing that. Just doing stuff you need to again and again and again and again.
So
I have like 10 minutes of that. How am I supposed to get
1 cost Incendious in play or played, right?
I don't know, man.
To pull the 0 cost 1.
No one's really ready, they just do it and it works out. If it's bad, apparently don't even notice if you're
It's looking quite good.
Yeah. Double upgrades on everything in there.
Yeah. I mean, that already just feels like enough.
People are like, you won't
I
be able
don't
to
really
teach
know
the
what
kid
the
anything,
Bannerface
you're
can
useless.
realistically do.
Kid's retarded
I
too,
think the
won't
only
make a
option is,
difference.
like decor plus threads. You've got to do the threads so that when your minions die, it clears the enemy board. I think the question is whether you actually like Maladar first. Oh no, Maladar isn't.
Yeah.
It's too much.
I
mana.
think honestly, I think just like anything plus the eruptions would have just probably been enough. Honestly, so it's a
Yeah.
little bit scary there. Banterface pushed into a tough spot. Proyun moved up in this match 2-1 now. Got the rogue out of the way, and honestly, that was just brutal to watch because even though Banterface was putting pressure on, I just think that it felt like Proyun had all the time in the world.
He is
right?
soup
Because
now.
It wasn't actually, that face opportunity that the Shaman had in the previous game.
Yeah, and I think this is a demonstration of like, well, Banter's lineup is probably looking to target Swarm Shaman a bit. And
Right.
that's just not something that Proyun has in his lineup. So it's going to come down to this hunter and to what extent it is able to compete with what Banter has going on. It's a more value-oriented hunter, though.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up the list now because, as you mentioned, one of the slight difficulties for this tournament is remembering whose list is whose because people are running so many, like, for example, hunters with just slightly different builds. But yeah, this is the full sort of late game value. It's got, of course, the ETC with the fizzle in there as well. It's got some pretty late game tools. So this could be a little bit tricky again because if there's, for example, not enough pressure from the Death Knight, the Hunter could just almost go endless, right? Is how it feels, whilst still putting a good amount of pressure on because they're sort of duplicating normally a lot of the cards. I do think that the range.
Here's a good roast if you want to insult somebody.
It looks pretty meek. And
I used to think I was retarded, but then I took a look at my Banterface deck. I was like, damn, maybe I'm just a stupid bitch.
In the world. So one of the rare times in Hearthstone history where Hunter often has like a full hand with this type of build, which is
Every
pretty
turn.
sick. Yeah, exactly. You just have cards, which is a miracle if you used to play Hunter.
Thanks for the commentary,
So
Raven.
yeah, I think Proyun is in a very good spot, not only for being 2-1 up, obviously, technically winning the match so far, but also just having this Hunter.
I'm very
going up
excited
against,
about the
two
soup
decks
right
that are
now.
And something I want to note is
Overexcited.
talk about variations in terms of value of the hunter build. This is probably the highest value version because Proyun has.
I would
two
probably
combos
buy
of
5, so if I can find a good
Asmo
restaurant
Vigilant, which is
that sells
a
me
new card
like
from the Great Dark
goulash
Realm.
soup for 7 euros,
In
I'll
addition
probably buy
to the
5.
Discover stuff that are also new, it gives you a copy of the last Draenei you played. And Rangari's
Draenei?
Yep.
is a Draenei.
I'll listen, see what he can
It's
do.
not British, Americanized, the aliens.
Falling behind a little bit in score.
Lord.
What do you think of these matchups as we go into Paladin versus this Hunter?
Well, so this hunter, without things like Observer of Myths, it will take a while to get running, and it is important to have Exarch Niall, which is a legendary, so it's just a 1 of 30, to really get going. So it's going to come down to whether Banter can draw through his deck, pressure enough in early game and such, and
If your comedy show becomes big, like Family Guy,
before Proyun is able
just
to
hire
set
like
up
10 people to write jokes, come with the best kind of jokes.
Yeah,
Spend your money on
when I
that.
saw the Exarch announced initially, I was like, oh, I really wish it was.
Don't
like
leave it a bunch of idiots, ironically.
And now I realise that would have been incredibly OP. So fair enough. Just because I want it to be super strong doesn't mean it should be. But yeah, I do think a lot of it, a lot of the strength of this deck hinges on getting hold of Exarch early. However, there are these other cards, like tracking, for example, that can help you get there, right? So it's not like you are completely at the will of how your deck's been shuffled, right? With the Exarch, you can hunt for it actively.
Yeah, and the glue that really is holding all of these decks together for the Discover Hunter is alien encounters, which
Right.
starts at 5, gets discounted once every time you play Discover. In the case of this forged, traps card, you get 2 instances because you discover twice, and you're looking to get that oftentimes in your Tidepool Pupil, or sometimes the traps themselves, like secrets, can be quite powerful in terms of messing with what people have going on. So even though it's not a secret
Oh, yeah.
deck, you can still
Oh
play
yeah.
those cards by getting multiple instances of those rolling.
Yeah, 100%. And because you are taking the game slowly a lot of the time, you often have the time to play secrets. It's not like you're playing Face Hunter and you need to play 8 different secrets in the game, right? And that's 2 manually each, generally, obviously. So, like, you do actually have that time pretty often. And we do see Birdwatch in hand. There is the alien counters you were talking about to try and block some of this damage. But yeah, I think alien encounters, like, if that just wasn't a card, Hunter would be significantly worse. It would lose so much more often to the more aggressive decks.
Oh yeah. And here, I think Proyun is going to play alien encounters for 2 mana, potentially, just to get it in the Tidepool Pupil.
Ah, sure, yeah. Wait, well, is forging and then Time Forge traps not just a little bit better this turn?
So if you forge and play the traps, you can play the alien encounters for 0, but then you've already filled up
Won't
the
go in
pupil.
Tidepool, yeah.
Yep. And encounters is generally the thing that you want to be pulling
Yeah.
out of the pupil.
Well, there's the scout.
Yep.
The game has begun.
It all blends so well, right? You get the scout down, you pupil for more
Yeah.
alien encounters. The taunts defend your Rangari scout, so you can just continue
Yeah.
maximizing value. And even if it dies, there's Astral Vigilant there for another one.
It just gets ridiculous, and I mean ridiculous in the best of ways, right? Like, it feels silly sometimes to just play. You drop the 1-drop Rangari Scout, and then you just go, I have infinite cards, let's go. And like you said, the ways to defend it are very, very good, but just the fact it's a 1-drop makes it just so playable, right? Because if this cost 2 or 3, or, and had better stats or whatever, sure, but it would just feel like infinitely worse, right? Just being able to whip it into turns is huge. But Banterface, though, does have options to try and fight back, but probably just a little bit scared of this secret.
Yeah, I think was testing with the coin for Ice Trap, but now sort of deciding if he wants to play Sankazel. Seems like he does. Otherwise, potentially, when you've got Gorgon's Armu, you tend to want to get a roll. That might have been a bit of a miss sequence of attacks. If you're expecting... Oh. I guess this was the only way to make the math work.
Oh, make everything clean
Yeah,
play.
Even
Oh,
if
look.
you lose the Sandcastle.
Yeah, it's brutal. I mean, don't get me wrong, cleared the board, got rid of the secret, right? Well, not cleared the board, but you know what I mean. Cleared the threats on the board, let's say. And got rid of the secret, that's fine. But yeah, it is quite, committing like the whole turn was just to do that, right? Which is very, very scary.
And there's just going to be more of them.
Yep, there's more where that came from. More cute little creatures to defend you with. Brilliant there. Taking a long time to think about this turn. It does get tricky though, because you have to work out, and I think a lot of it might have been.
Bros playing so slow. He's moving so slow. I'm missing his
sometimes
actions.
you do a little bit too much, and then you've got hand space problems, right? If you can't actually play the cards you're generating copies of.
Oop. Ran out of time there. I think we wanted either to, by minimum, make the attack into the Sandcastle.
Yeah, But that alien encounters should be on board, right? 100%. There's no way that was supposed to be held.
Yeah, absolutely.
But these are the games you play a little bit if you're not even going to start your turn until the rope starts burning, right? We've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it in the past, and it's not like a huge dig at any of the players, but if you are going to sit and think about the turn for X amount of time, guess what? You've got less time to execute, right? Like, it is what it is. That's the way the game works.
Not everybody, of course. A lot of ESFG personalities are born
See, you need to take my approach.
afraid of people's
way less and just press things.
opinions and afraid to be brave and
then regret your decisions after the fact. That's my approach.
they don't feel like they would
Let's hit with
the
the
Sanka's on
bounce.
back.
yeah, I've seen this already somehow.
Is, you know,
Guess if you're gonna.
Just you have two.
I'm sorry, I don't know how that happened. I didn't. What?
Even with the Tarslick in hand, it's quite surprising to me that with Tarslick in it's getting pretty.
Yeah, I don't know how that went back like that. I'm sorry.
What, 4, 7.
It's very natural to them to feel like, how am I supposed to be brave and how am I supposed to do all these things when I'm clearly so susceptible to the fear and the.
Yeah, that was it.
It's hard to explain, but what I'm trying to say is that some people are born scared of so many things,
There wasn't very many good options.
and they know they
Going
can't
into Incendius didn't
overcome
do a
it.
lot either. Again, the break points were really awkward for something like even
Easily.
trying to go from Mixologist and finding something.
He's definitely
But here we're
ESFJ,
seeing
and like
definitions,
Raven here,
go
for
ahead
example, is
and,
probably thinking about
lay out all of the things,
stupidity and
going for it, pushing as much damage as
cowardice,
you can here, just setting up for
being afraid of
next
his
turn.
opinions.
If none of these are removed and nothing is played, is next turn lethal. So the best you can do.
Okay, but the top deck Oracle with a coin finds the glow sticks and Divine Brew.
Antu is only scared of Oracle here in terms of if you can heal a little bit and remove the board. And even that's not terrifying. He looks so stabilised.
Everybody experiences scary moments, but they need to be brave. What you need to do in those
Now this
moments
Amulet of
is
Energy
eventually
sitting alone
end up
in
brave and
Potion's
doing
hand.
things.
No
When you're
idea,
5
is
or
it?
10, maybe it's not so
Not
easy.
at all.
That's the practice length. Practice time.
So
Oh, I
close
love
to
this
zero
soup
back
right
to
now.
navigating to the correct out and getting it, but wow. Okay.
I should talk about stuff like that, maybe. I don't do it very often.
Needs to try and set up his own
Whenever I
act.
face
So
fear, I need to be
himself,
brave.
because it
I will
definitely
come it
does
easily
raise
and
an oracle,
quickly.
play this amulet, get 2 cards, you know. 10 health will go fairly quick.
I'm brave enough to do pretty much anything and say anything to anyone. Stuff I discovered when I was depressed.
I'm gonna start with the Mixologist. Ooh,
One of those
summoning
they
a
are.
friendly minion that died is kind of interesting.
I was just like, if I could do it then, I can do
Sure,
it now.
yeah.
And I really can.
I'm on board with that.
But I've always been very brave women anyway, I think.
Oh, just brings back the Grifta.
I'm technically a womanizer, I think. Mesmerized and endeared by so many women. rather play their game of
5, 3,
romance
and a 0.
and
No
play
zero
soccer with the
pop cards
boys,
here to draw. But
I can consider so many people
Banterface still seems like he's in a pretty
a short-term
decent position
certain
here, as
relationship.
long as Definition doesn't draw any
Some kind of womanizer.
obnoxious anything that he can find. But as you mentioned, with
I'm so
something like
thoughtless sometimes in their
doesn't
presence.
find it, just picks up a Battle Fiend.
But
And
if
I
they're
really
fat and
like the
ugly
setup
and I
for
don't have a
Banterface
chance
to
anyway,
actually
then
just
I can
decide
be
to play
myself.
that last Divine Brew, just set up a
Which can be
Divine
pretty
Shield and make it
intimidating,
just that much
maybe.
more awkward for Definition.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out the incredibly tiny merits of either playing or keeping the Battle Fiend. but
Yeah, being
keeping it,
bisexual,
Banterface doesn't know what
being
you're saying,
gay,
so you keep it.
sorry, bisexual,
The fact Banterface
is,
has to trade into it doesn't change the clock almost ever.
I don't go for the kind of people you would think, right? And it's, I did a test, said if it was 50-50, but maybe it is definitely more women, 3 times more women. I think I like Uwu.
Guess it
These are
prevents
situations, I
the-
think, where Banterface is at his best. He's incredibly good at sort of thinking of all the niche outs that you could lose to or win with.
Yeah.
There's so many men women go for it. I don't think there's really at all because they're stupid. It's a summarization.
Is one of the toughest things in the Hearthstone.
I think women are terrible at choosing their partners. But people, the meta, people
I
tend to
think,
go make
for
intelligent
Definition,
decisions
playing something there
with the
also
men they go
gave
for as
Banterface
women, but the
something to
meta is
potentially
really
attack
stupid.
into
Your
his
end, what you're left
Mm.
with is lacking in so many angles.
I'm not
I
sure
think.
it matters in the long run of this game, but
Doesn't leave a lot of room for people like me, sometimes. If I was rich, change things a
That
lot.
was the card that needed to get it rolling as well. The 2 attack there into an Oracle, into some stuff. But didn't get there, and it's 1-1.
And if I'm gonna be even more honest, when it comes to shapes and
I
sizes of
did
women,
mention that I was a
I'm
little
so
bit worried about the
analytical,
attack DH into the Rainbow DK.
and I do really get
that
go
Vanessa Paladin
fall in love with the
definitely,
shape of
so kind of was
many
able to
women.
stabilize there, which was a little surprising considering the hand seemed slightly awkward for a few turns there. But
They would say maybe that I'm
Banterface able to
easy
piece together
to get on
things
the hook.
and double metal detector, plus finding some removal from Mixologist definitely kept him in the game.
Really did, and I'm going to predict right now that that is not the last time this weekend that we see a Grifter needing to
It
hit
seems
12 health to win a game.
difficult for one chatter to talk about, to listen to. I'm glad it is.
It seems to come up a lot, that exact scenario.
Yeah, Grift is a really interesting card as well. I think that was kind of a big storyline in previous Masters tours, right? Was Grifta and
Also
finding
had some
Grifta with
girlfriends,
Rogue
actually.
to find all
I
the
think I have a good
damage and
boyfriend.
OTK, and now it's kind of pivoted a little bit. It's still in there, and it can still definitely find that damage, find a lot of that end game potential, but there are other options other than 6 damage that can come out of Grifta, and we're definitely seeing that already today. And I suspect that you're right. I suspect that we will see that even more throughout the weekend.
I find Grifter in Rogue specifically incredibly difficult as well because, first of all, there's so many nice toys you want to play with in that deck, and the Grifter's kind of like, I might give you a nice toy, I might not. You know,
People always give me so much
have a
room
think
to
about
be
it.
stupid as a
And,
man.
but then you've got
But they don't, they really
steal
don't
things
understand. I'm a person who
You just hit them
understands
straight in the head. You can heal so that
people and
everything
emotions
else
very
in
well, and
Grifter,
understand
it's
women's
promising
emotions.
hitting them in the head, but
And I can
sometimes you just
be
get
all they
draw
need
3
me to
cards.
be.
I don't want to do that. Or draw 3 legendaries.
I'm not going to be blunt. I'm not going to be have difficulty speaking.
You said it might come down to that mirror. It's starting to get closer and closer. You sticking to that prediction?
I don't want it to, but I'm gonna stick with it. I don't think I want to see the mirror match and the tournament today, but we'll see what happens here as we see McBanterface.
Oh my god, the soup.
With that rogue again and Definition here as well.
Oracle insta
It's filling up my Gourmand levels.
Definition's hand is an interesting one, at least to me. Yeah, because the speaker stomp, but what do you want to do with it? You want to slow them down a little bit? There's quite a lot of spells going on over there. There isn't a lot to do on one in Rogue, actually, is there? So fair enough.
There's our first fan of knives just for the draw. Nothing on board.
Yeah, part 1, race for the Giants. See if they can get those going. It's not as fast as it used to be. It's not as fast as the decks that were specifically built just to play Giants. But if you can get them down on 5 or 6, the other one, your opponent probably can't deal with them. But any later than that, and suddenly your opponent's doing things like Incendiusing you and hitting you back with multiple grifters and Sonya plays and all sorts of craziness. So step 1, try and get them down quickly and see what happens.
Yep. And part of that is with these oracles. I know, again, that's been something that we've
Mostly,
talked about.
if I was looking for somebody, I think I would want somebody smart. I wouldn't think for smart.
For a lot of these decks, but specifically in the Rogue, where it's able to help draw through this, and it kind of has replaced a lot of the other draw in Rogue. So very interesting to see one player with Oracle and one player without Oracle.
Yeah, when I first started playing against this deck, I was like, every time they shadow stepped their Oracle, I'd be like, ha ha, noob, you're taking attack off the board, you're taking tempo off the board. No, they're just drawing 3 more cards next turn, it's fine. Obviously, whilst racing for the Giants, they're also, gathering the hand they want. Neither of them really have the hand that they want right now. You're shifting away the coin, so
that was so nice opening up, being honest, talk about stuff like this, making you, I was supposed to making you smart. It's going to be very nice if you reported that.
Second Oracle for McBanterface here. Just another Tar Slick coming out to activate that Oracle's ability.
And we see the opposite play here from Banterface. He's quite happy to gear shift away the Giants to keep everything going. The deck gets thinner, you get them back anyway, being presumably the point there. And he's looking for other things as well. Right, how many Giants will Definition have in play at the end of this turn? That's the question right now.
Definition.
It kind of hurts my brain when I see this brain rot.
To plop an 8/8 on the board is okay. Not going to be happy with you constantly playing this stomp, but actually do something.
Yeah, I think the Dubious here as well can do some work if he opts for it.
Yeah.
Double prep this turn. Dubious clearing up the 8/8. Gets out an 8/8 of his own.
No pilot. Okay. So the good thing playing against Rogue is you're almost certainly don't die next. I mean, not almost certainly, because Sonya into Grifter does kill you sometimes here, but... Again, no Pirate.
Everything is pretty heavily costed because of the Speaker Stomper here.
I suspect the Banter is largely planning next turn at the moment.
Yeah.
Eight cards in Banter's deck. Next turn he has a Sonya, he has a Prep, he has Shadow Step, he has Small Pirate. He can do a lot of work next turn with the double doobies as well. is one of the other things that makes the rogue deck difficult, is you have to plan your turns pretty rapidly because you have a lot of actions to do next turn. If you're Banter Face, you need to know what your plan is for the turn and be able to adjust to it as you go.
As we see McBanterface just start the turn very rapidly, taking those actions. He knows exactly what he's wanting to do here.
Yeah.
2 mana.
Infinite Giants shut down the opponent's stompers and then still have mana left to draw cards.
Now this is interesting as well with the minions on board. How's McBanterface going to play this out to potentially play around the mind control tech?
Wish I had more soup.
Keep some stuff on board.
Yeah, just have it.
Let's
I'm going to put
definition,
22 attack
yeah.
on board despite that 8-8 you're going to steal. Just have it. A superb turn. Sticking to the plan, which was not what I expected to be. I thought he might go through and try and do mega combos. He actually did the Sonya thing just to make a massive board that his opponent can't do anything about because all of his cards cost 5.
Yeah, even if Definition does have MCT
Bro, it's
here
mind
and
control.
answers the 8/8s, it does clear up some board space.
The card's
so
too good,
can
man.
Potentially just start popping off again next turn.
You can counter is good, plays makes it in a very annoying way.
What's left in Banter's deck? Cynthia's quick pick, big for 20 to backstab, so he doesn't have a Shadow Step available.
No.
Which is a pity for him, but... Which means he can't do Mega and Cynthia's thing, but he's not going to need to, he's just got so many...
Do I have a soup on my face?
Grifter things as well.
Look at my mustache. What's the point in having all these hair products if they...
Definition just can't do anything because that double stomp.
While I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Okay,
interruption.
And another one. That's what he could do. I thought Banter had it, but he's going to have to do it all again. And another one. Two.
And after those eruptions, McBanter is now down to 10 health.
Yeah, that's a serious problem now. But he can still do a serious lot of stuff again this turn. Don't believe he has any ways to protect his Sonya anymore, so this kind of has to be it.
Okay.
So he hits another one of those, that's game.
Oh, whatever. I'm not gonna stop streaming
Doesn't
here.
find it. Finds health.
I'm watching streamers, I think. How ironic.
Take control
Goodbye.
of their board space to take control
Have a
of
good time.
Oracle. Nope, just goes for the healing.